I just got done recording a session of Katara Sojo, and when I went to Twitter just to browse around, I was treated with this absolute gem on the screen in front of us right now. The announcement of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. It has side stories so that we have additional content on top of the stuff that we've already have. This is so amazing because I first played through this game like years ago, and I thoroughly loved it. I thoroughly love interacting with the different characters and making up these different poetries and stuff like that. Each of the characters have their own different wonders and quirks about them, and they've even got like an announcement which we'll react to right now. So let's see. Hold on. A game that will unnerve you. Wow. Uncontrollably horrific. Yep, it kind of was in a way. And that's like its logo as well. I can say with great certainty that this is one of the scariest games I've ever played. That's horrific. Up is now back to lovely. Click it. Hey! And with our characters on here as well. Enter the #1 psychological horror experience, yes? Dialogue we've already been used to, just turn it down from my end. Walk home with whoever, plus whichever choice you make. New side stories, improved HD visuals. I thought the visuals were excellent anyways. 100 unlockable images, wow. 100 unlockable images. Doki, that's a wonderful new avatar as well. The little plus on it with the mouse over it and stuff like that. June 30th coming to PC and consoles. Wow. It's got physical edition as well. So I imagine there's some goodies in there with a premium physical edition with that. Awesome stuff. Dan Savata, you've done yourself out again. No, we're not going to be reacting to Summer of Gaming 2021, stuff like that. That is such a treat. That is such a delight from all this. So let's come out of that now and just see what's with the rest of the page itself. Like all of this here. A terrifying world of romance and poetry awaits and stuff like that. So now it's your chance to discover why Doki Doki Club is one of the most beloved psychological horror games of the decade. It is, and it's also brought on headlines as well, like BBC and stuff like that, although not for the right reasons, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't bring about for the right reasons, like people were questioning about whether this game should be on the internet, and the only thing that separates it from other psychological horror games is the fact that it was a popular game. That's the only reason why. There are other games out there which are just as dark, or if not even darker than this game. But yet, people questioned about it with this game just because of its popularity. Right, mind-shattering horror. With every poem you write and every choice you make, you'll charm your crush and begin to unfold the horrors of school romance. Do you have what it takes to crack the code of dating sims and get the perfect ending? Well, we never really saw that in the original game. Maybe we could with like the side stories. Okay, mind-shattering horror. Full HD visuals. 6 new side stories, which I think is what we're going to be covering over on the channel when the game comes out. Like, not the core game, but the new side stories. But I'd also love to venture into the most profound of the original game itself, when it comes out, that is. So, yeah, I'm reacting at this at 10:03 p.m. I love how it's got like a clock at the bottom of it and everything. Like a global tracking sort of thing. Right, Sayori, your childhood friend, begins your story by recruiting you to the literature club with delicacies and stuff like that. As a daydreamer full of positive energy, Sayori's greatest passion is to deliver happiness to others. She is more about other people than herself when it comes to delivering happiness. Actually, let's look at the other characters. Natsuki. Natsuki tries to act tough, but her cuteness can make it hard to take her too seriously. She might be willing to warm up to good listeners who can respect her love for cute things. Just keeping it nice and simple. What's this sidebar here? Let's see. Intro, trailer, reviews, features, characters, game and merch, newsletter. So that, I think, is just going through each of the sections of the the site. Yuri, required bookworm, reserves her passionate side for those who can more deeply understand her enigmatic mind. Enigmatic is a very good word to describe her, because she is quite shy as a person now, but opens up to you the more you open up to her, if that makes sense. And of course, the mastermind of it all, Monica, the superstar president of the Literature Club, will keep you on track for a perfect ending. Indeed, she's like an overlord of the world. Much like Dolores in Prom Dreams, Monica is always there to give you a guiding hand, both in literature and in love. Yes, because the Literature Club is not just about writing stories, is it now? It's about conveying your emotions across. Let's see, we are right the way into her heart. Whose heart, you wonder? Maybe any of the four. I've got some insight towards the different physical merch we get. So there's looks like little acrylic stands, and there's like a letter in the background and some stickers over there, like on the blue background and that. And there's a soundtrack to it too, and a Literature Club member card. That's so good. Oh, and there's like the shop merchandise as well. Newsletter if you want to sign up for any more information. What else was there? Oh yeah, there was a press kit as excuse me, the press kit as well, I believe. So, okay, let's go up to here. Announcing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Hello everyone, it's been a while and we've been hard at work in the past. I promise all of you that DDLC will one day return with new content. Today I'm following through on that promise with the announcement of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. DDLC Plus coming June 30th brings Doki Doki Literature Club to a number of new platforms, including Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. In addition, it has hours of new content and lots of other cool features. They've just put out a new tweet. In this post, I'll go over some of the new features and content, but also some things that you'll want to discover yourself when you play this game. DDLC Plus was created by Team Salvato and has been published digitally and physically by Serenity Forge. I also want to thank Serenity Forge for providing an incredible amount of development support from their team of skilled programmers. This release would not be possible otherwise. And there's even a little CG of Sayori and Yuri there, so there could be different side stories with like pairings or trios, different characters. I'm not too sure about that one, but let's dig more into it. Okay, let's get into it. I always felt like the characters of DDLC, the members of the Literature Club, deserved more of a space to get to know each other and kind of explore their interpersonal relationships. So for DDLC Plus, I wrote a new storyline that I call the Side Stories. The side stories take place outside the timeline of the original game, which makes sense. And they instead focused on how all of the club members went from first meeting each other to becoming close friends. I really wanted to create an environment where these characters, with very real and relatable insecurities, have to learn to overcome communication barriers, respect each other's needs, and reflect on themselves. I feel like that was most difficult with the friendship between Yuri and Natsuki, because we were both on like very opposite ends of the spectrum. One was very energetic and childish, but not in a bad way childish, but the other one was quite shy, modest, and just kept to herself normally. So that, in a kind of a way, is a step forward, if you will, in comparison to what was within the original game, where it seemed like we lacked the kind of interpersonal relationships with each of the characters just as a pairing, whereas we tried to look at the game as a whole through the eyes of a protagonist. And through the eyes of the protagonist, obviously, we got that sort of stuff. 13 additional music tracks, so I think this has got the orchestra of the entire game, if we're reading that correctly. Okay, the side stories also have a brand new soundtrack. Oh, a brand new soundtrack. That's brilliant. Music has always been an important part of DDLC. It conveys emotion, after all, and really important to me personally as a part of playing video games. Exactly. I love how music tracks sort of absorb all of the emotions you feel during the game and how it all comes rushing back whenever you hear the songs again. I composed the original soundtrack with that experience in mind, so for the side stories I brought in a new composer. That personnel right there, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, I apologise, but there we go, that is the new composer, who shares the same passion and understanding of the special impacts of video game music, because without music, there is only a few other ways in order to convey emotions and atmosphere. Where was we? Share the same passion. Nikki and I have collaborated in the past before, but we worked more close together than ever on the new tracks of DDLC Plus. Some of Nikki's songs have familiar, catchy melodies, which others are totally new. So while others are totally new, to help you enjoy all the music, DDLC Plus has built-in music player where you can easily make a custom playlist of your favorite songs or of relaxing background music. I don't know why I kept trying to say black there. Or you can just loop one song forever with that seamless music loop you get in video games. It's like the theme that you discover at the end of the game once you beat the game at least once. It gives you this gallery, and then you go into the gallery, and there's this music player, and it has an option where you can have it on loop and stuff like that. The music player has 26 tracks in total. I really hope you enjoy discovering the new music as you play the side stories, which is another fantastic feature for the side stories, is that it has music unique to the side stories themselves, which will also unlock them in the music player. The music player will also include 2 guest tracks composed by Jason Hayes and Azura Sky. I love how each of them brought along their own unique style. Jason Hayes, for instance, is best known for composing a World of Warcraft soundtrack. I haven't played that game, but it's a very popular game soundtrack. DDLC really has reached farther than I could have ever imagined. Anything is possible after all. 100 unlockable pictures. 100 CGs. Is that just CGs, or is there more to it, like these sticker ones, which in themselves is a CG, but what the hell? 100 CGs in a game, as I'm not going to lie, but DDLC is a rather short visual novel. Like, in comparison, let's say Elkana, and the one I'm playing at the moment is called Katara Sojo, DDLC is a fairly short experience, but 100 plus. Now that is an achievement itself. But I wonder if you unlock those as you progress through a game, actually. Speaking of unlockable, there's another fun new feature is Picture Gallery where you can unlock pictures as you play the game. There are more than 100 unlockable pictures like game, artwork, wallpapers, and never before seen concept sketches of certain memorable scenes of the game. I think it's a fun way to encourage people to try new things in DDLC and see if you can discover all the content, which we will certainly try to, with our absolute 100% commitment. It's not easy to reach 100% content completion. Don't oppose a challenge to your fan base, for goodness sakes. But I bet if you and your friends share each other of your discoveries, you'll be able to do it together. I don't have any friends. I'm joking, I have friends. The DDLC experience. For existing fans of DDLC, we'll make sure there's more than enough new content to make DDLC Plus feel really new and exciting. But another thing I kept in mind is how much the original DDLC experience means a lot to people. Like, there's a lot of meaningful experiences in there. Stuff that really touches the core and all that jazz. So, where was I? I know there are always a concern about re-releases or special editions having a whole bunch of changes in them, or the original content being tampered with in some way, so we thoughtfully included all the new content in a way to ensure that the main game, Doki Doki Literature Club, is as authentic and true of the original as possible. I'd still call it HD, but the revamp of the graphics could possibly be the only difference, obviously. There is one really good change to the original game, which is that all the artwork is in higher resolution now, with over twice the number of pixels. I hope it helps make the game more immersive and maybe more scary as well. Yes, because now we can see the pixels of the scary darkness of the horrors that await in this game twice as much. We've also added optional content warnings so that you can choose to be warned in advance when approaching scenes that contain sensitive material. Now that in itself is very good, because there are certain sensitive topics which you may be okay with, but then there are other topics which you'll be like, that is not for me, and you could possibly choose to skip over them. Okay, conclusion. That's about it for the stuff I'm ready to talk about. Good, because we need to keep some cards close to our chests. For everything else, I don't want to spoil the fun of you discovering it yourself, but overall, I really want to make DDLC Plus not only really special for existing fans, but also a fantastic and accessible way for new players to get in on the psychological horror experience. Yeah, I really put all my heart into this game, along with everyone else who worked on it, and we're really grateful for the opportunity to share it with you. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus comes out on June the 30th. Prepare to have your diaries booked for June the 30th. If you want to see somebody play it before you buy it for yourselves, this is the channel for it. And it comes on June the 30th for PC and consoles. I hope you give it a try and that you have a really enjoyable, meaningful, and terrifying time with the game. Yep, all of those above. And of course, special thanks as well. So in this post, I had the chance to talk about all of the amazing new artists and composers who contributed to DDLC Plus. But there are many others who have been invaluable to have on this project, and I want to share my appreciation to Joseph, great developer support, Alessia, providing endless amounts of creative direction, plus material, that's part of that, Cynthia, for being extremely great facilitator, Stephen, for providing the best art direction and graphic design, everyone at Serenity Forge, and you for sharing your continued kindness and support and for sharing this moment of gratitude with you. DDLC Literature Club Anime Expo 2019 is the previous blog by this. So this page is not that up to date, and I think that is all good because stuff like this is very intriguing. And obviously you don't want to share everything that you've put out on the game itself, otherwise it will spoil it for all of you. So what I'm most excited about is A, are there any more fourth wall breakages, like let's say with people recording the game? Somehow the game knows that I was using a game capturing software which allows the footage to be recorded. So therefore the engine was like, I see that you're using the software. Aha, let's diverge off onto this route by saying, Monica. Monica knows that you're playing the game in another way. You're not just playing it and reading it out loud, but you're also recording it. Like, remember that, like, scary face. Like, honestly, I don't think you got that if you don't record a game. But I wonder how you'll be able to interpret it. Like, you'll be able to get to the text, and then, like, during that text, it's like the game doesn't recognize that you're recording, but you are recording because, well, you've gone into the sentence too late before the game discovers that you are recording. So fourth wall breakages are another thing. I would like to know if there are any other fourth wall breakages throughout the game. The second thing that comes to mind is the 100 plus artworks that you can unlock. Like, that is a sheer amount of work. And I would like to applaud every single person who have helped contribute towards the artwork of the game. But I also want to have a big congrats towards the composers for making the music for this game. Because music is such an important aspect about games. Having the right music to set the tone, the atmosphere, is so important. I'm not a philosophical person when it comes to music and about how to describe the A's and the E's and the F's and the high notes and the low notes. I just listen to it and thinking that presents a mode, a mood, an atmosphere, an environment in which we can all just share and enjoy and stuff like that. And thirdly, I think as well is oh god, what was it as well? Like the side stories. Like, that's going to be really interesting. How many? Like, there's 6 of them. But what characters are going to be the focus of those side stories? Like, Sayori and Yuri could most likely be one of the 6 side stories. So we've got Sayori and Yuri. Natsuki and Yuri is definitely going to be another one, because there was one other CG somewheres where they were like at a vending machine at another part of the school. I don't think it was either one of these 2 sites. I think it was somewhere else. Oh, it was on the press kit site. There we go. That's the one. And I think if we go all the way down here, God, that is some. Actually, we're just gonna look at this. Like, that in itself. Let's load this up. that in itself is really beautiful. Like, just all the different themes on there, and I'm glad the age rating is there, having its correct kind of rating for it, because it is a very, very dark game. A poem for Monica, premium physical edition, sticker set, sheet, sorry, soundtrack download card, literature club membership card, and 2-inch character standee set of 4. Doki Doki. So that was that image, and then like here's different covers of the game. I'm not sure if these like the final artworks, because it usually shows like the artwork is not final, but I think it could be. And Monica is definitely like the main presence of this game. Like, if you think about it, Monica makes the game, as it were, and stuff like this. You should go inside and talk to her. Like, I think this is like all within the core game. That is as well. That is as well. That is as well. That is as well. That's a side story. Okay, this one I was looking at. So they buy a new location within the game, and it also has a vending machine, a set of stairs. So this definitely could be another side story. And I'm so intrigued to see the relationship, as it were, between Natsuki and Yuri, because they're kind of like hot and cold, as it were. They're North Pole and South Pole, light and dark, but obviously neither of them are truly blissful or blissful. And then there's the announcement that we saw at the very beginning of the game. So I just want to make this video, and this isn't like my first time trying to do like a reaction kind of thing. And I think there's like an exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, Nintendo Switch exclusive, poem notebook in a cover sheet. Okay, so that sets apart from the PlayStation versions of the game. I wonder if there's anything planned involved for the PlayStation versions of the game, like let's say a theme, like a background theme for your like PlayStation, so that it has that kind of difference between the Nintendo Switch version and the PlayStation versions. Like having its own background theming could be a possibility or something like that. But yeah, this is also wonderful, and I'm really I feel kind of guilty about not trying this game when it initially came out. Like, when this game initially came out, I don't think I was that big in visual novels, and this was like one of the first games that I played as a visual novel, and I was really attached to it. Like, I really get why people love visual novels, and I really want to pursue down this path of just playing visual novels. So this has been an absolute delight, folks, and I think that's about it, really. Like, you can check out the tweets that Dan Savato has made about like this announcement and all of the other information that he's willing to share at this point in time. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and this has been a very unusual video because this is not the sort of thing I do on a channel by doing reactions, but this in itself is a one-of-a-kind experience, and I really wanted to look at it and just be like, wow, I'm really looking forward to this. So be sure to check out Flare Blitzed in the next 2 to 3 weeks, because it's going to be coming on the channel on the June 30th. But it also depends on what time the game is actually released. Like, I've already pre-ordered it on Steam and get like a digital code for it from the Serenity Forge website. So yeah, that's all good and fun, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to check out this game for yourselves. If you haven't played Doki Doki Literature Club yet, then either do one or two options. Wait until the Plus version comes out, or play it for yourselves right now and see where it goes for you. But I must warn you that it's not for the faint of heart. There are some incredibly gruesome topics covered throughout this game. And like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, it made its way to BBC because of how popular it was. Like, at one point, it could have been taken down from Steam. But I'm very glad it didn't, because this game is so good. I think it's so good anyways. Like, some people probably say it's overrated, but I think it's not. I think it's deserving to be its own wall in a way. Its own unique factor. I don't know why I said wall. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care of yourselves.